can I stay in the performing arts sector after I've had a baby? Actually, when I went back to work, I then didn't really talk about having a child because I didn't want to be that person that talked that, oh, she's a mum now. So I found that like someone actually commented like, oh, you do really well at showing that you're not a mum. And I was like, why is that a good thing?
The fires are burning. So reach for me like the petals of a rose, bloom in its season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver, so come on now.
It was all very difficult, but then that loss of identity, you know, as who I was as a dancer, as a performer, as somebody that was quite well known in the belly dance London scene, it all kind of ended up making me feel quite resentful towards my son and towards the situation. And when my business started to really suffer, that was when I was like, oh my God, this is really not what I bought into.
It's like what a lot of people said, your body's changing, you can't do what you used to be able to do. And then if you're, yeah, I think like most people probably like you refuse to admit that. So I was like, no, I can still do everything. My body's fine. I can still do all of this. So I carried on trying to just do everything as much as I possibly could until I didn't have to anymore. So I think I was a bit stubborn, probably more than I really needed to. And everyone was like, oh, you should calm down now, you should do this. And that's made me want to not do that more. But yeah.
It sort of signified that invisible mental load, which is the exhausting bit of being a mum, and then almost doubled with being a mum in something like the creative sector, the dance sector. There's also an invisible mental workload that comes with that job. So, you know, we're always having to do extra work in the evenings or choreograph or invoice or do admin stuff that doesn't come within our working hours. So there's an invisible workload and an invisible mental load with being a dancer, and then an invisible mental workload being a mum, and that kind of combined together is what almost makes this job feel unattainable.
Feel overwhelmed by all of the messages and all of the stuff that I need to do. Reply to 2 inquiries, reply to 1 work text and comfort a new teacher, answer a call from husband to help sort out a scheduling nightmare, the mistakes that he's made this morning, book them into a soft play, read another work email, then flag about 5 more work emails that I need to reply to that day. Answer texts from sister-in-law, log into this call, sew up holes in my son's shirt, brushed my hair. In the break, I ran around and tidied up the bathroom, tidy up my son's room, tidy up the living area, pick up all of the toys, and then pick up all of the cereal all over the floor, put the dishes in the dishwasher, cook some chicken for lunch, reply to one of the teachers, check on my husband that the baby is sleeping, think about feeding myself, worry about staffing and new teachers, organise afternoon for my husband, get told that I need to do an Instagram post for my business, think about the washing and when I can do all of the washing and take it over to the dryer. Then when they get home, once again, tidy up all the chaos. Keep them entertained for a few hours before we all need to get out of the house before we go crazy. Then it's time to come back home and start the whole routine of bedtime. Ask my 4-year-old to eat his dinner. Ask him again. negotiate with the 4-year-old to eat his dinner so that he'll get pudding. He fails to eat his dinner, so he gets no pudding. Get them all in the bath, make sure the baby is fed and then washed because he's got food all over him. Change another dirty nappy. Then make sure that they both have brushed teeth, both have read books, and then in bed. Tuck them up into bed, breastfeed, and put him to sleep, and get out into the kitchen to look at the giant mess that is before me and slump over on the couch. Can I deal with the rest of the day? I don't know. But things that I know that I have not done today: showered, fed myself, replied to my friends' text messages, ordered new uniforms for my dance teachers, replied to numerous couples that want some dance lessons, make sure that all of my NCT mums have got all of the information they need for my son's birthday party, make sure that my husband knows what we're doing next week, make sure that all of the lunches are ready to go, plan dinners, plan lunches, make sure that all of my emails that I need to reply to are flagged so that when I open my laptop tomorrow, I know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to get them done, but I will try.
Matrescence comes from the word adolescence. So when we're going through our teenage years and we're in adolescence, we go through a lot of changes, whether that be emotionally, because of the hormone changes, whether that be physically, whether that be mentally in terms of discovering who we are. And society seems to be more equipped with dealing with that. Like, people will kind of be a bit more accepting that emotionally we might be going through things, or physically we're changing, because we say, oh, we're going through adolescence. And our peer group goes through that at the same time as well. So you're kind of with the community. But yet the idea of matrescence is that when you give birth to a baby, you also give birth to a new you. And society doesn't really seem to be as equipped to accept that and support that.
Like, I would say I found maternity leave, though this, I don't know if it was more with the dancer's head. I don't know if I found actually really hard. I found it really lonely and really isolating. I don't know if anyone else found this, but I love dance. I obviously do, and I love teaching, but I found it really hard to adjust that is not my top priority anymore. They actually are work. I would say I can't fault them, and they're doing everything they can to fit around my schedule, and they want me to be there. So they're doing everything they can. And like, if my child is sick, they're so accommodating, all of that. But my boss doesn't have children, so he doesn't really get it. But it's hard because I can't explain to him, because he's never going to get it.
Your role as in the dance sector is an active role, it's a doing role, and it's a performing role. And then your role as a mother is also an active role, it's a doing role, it's a performing role. So we almost have these two identities that are doing the same thing, but we tend to separate them. And actually, if we just had them as one identity, so as one whole kind of embodiment, they would enrich each other, and we could actually pass those skills between each other. And there's positives that come from both of those that would make, everything feel a bit more attainable.
This added level of patience and maybe to multitask, organize. I think on the over opposite of that side, there's also, I think, you gain this better skills of like being able to conflict resolution, like conflict, all of that, deal with that. Like, maybe you become a bit less of a pushover because you've learned how to think, or you learn with another human being how to negotiate, how to do those things. You're doing it in real life experiences, and you can bring that into that, like you said, which ends up being that you end up being more understanding. But I think it gives you those other skills that maybe people don't actually think about. Oh, actually, no. And I think I'm much better at dealing with conflict, and much better doing things heads on, and having less embarrassment and worry about a lot of things now. Like, if you give birth, I think you can't be embarrassed anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything's gone out the window. And then, so I think that those kind of things as well, like, if you have to deal with something, you just deal with it. There's not like, I have more important things to actually worry about than having to just deal with that. Like, this is the case, this is what has to happen. So you've got that skill. I think that people maybe definitely gets overlooked. The nurturing, I think people expect you to have. I think these other hidden skills that you gain that don't get seen or don't get appreciated.
100% agree. I feel like you've got this like superpower, and it's almost like things before that would scare me and I'd stress about, and I think, oh my God, how am I going to resolve that? And I could go in this way, and now I'm just like, no, just dealing with it, because I haven't got, like you said, I haven't got the capacity, I haven't got the time for this to drag out, because I've got other stuff to deal with. but also given birth. Like, I am freaking awesome. I am going to just deal with this and knock this on the head. This does not scare me anymore. It does not faze me. But all of that, like, I had so much to agree with that. The fact that, again, I think I'm a better teacher because I feel like if someone doesn't understand maybe what I'm trying to show physically, I'll then think, okay, I'll do it through imagery, or I'll do it through counts, or I'll do it through sounds, because you're constantly, when you're being a mum, thinking about different ways that you can connect to your children and communicate and get the message across. So it becomes the same almost when you're teaching, that I go, okay, this approach isn't working, let me find another way. Whereas I think maybe before children, I would just be like, well, this is the way it is, and you guys just need to get on board. And now I'm a bit more like, okay, no, what other perspective and way can I come in with? And yeah, definitely the empathy. Definitely what you said, Julie, about having more understanding of students and feeling like I see my students differently, because I think you've got your own children. You understand you understand them more as a child, and that vulnerability they have, and the fact that there's so much else encompassing their life than just your class, and that will feed into your class. So I really feel like I think about them as individual and humans now, and really thinking about understanding just how bigger things are in their life and how much things could be impacting them and affecting them.
Yeah, it's a lot when you're asking a child to stand there and learn the Nutcracker, and they've got to sit, like one of them's just been moved into foster care or something. We would struggle to cope with that. So also the negotiation point as well. I'd forgotten about that, but actually you do learn some negotiation skills that I've definitely taken into my teaching. Whereas before I might have shouted more because I have a loud voice and I could use it. Now I'm a lot quieter, much calmer, not all the time, but most of the time. And it's worked a lot better. And that has definitely been since having kids, 100%. Yeah.
It's really important to have other mums in workplaces. So whether that be in a company or a dance school or a dance organisation, but if you have another mum in that company, that organisation, if someone else then becomes pregnant, they have, someone they can talk to who's been through it. They've got that support. They can ask questions. They can see that actually you can do it. It's achievable. This person's done it.
Our bodies have changed. We are changing. Like, factually correctly, a woman's body takes 2 years to fully get back to what it was before, after birth. So, and I only know that because I've had a child. I didn't know that before.
Do you know when flamingos have babies, they lose their pink, and then as their chicks become older, they start to get their colour back, and they're not as pale because the babies become obviously more independent and can feed themselves. They're not taking all the nutrients from the mother. And I feel like I lost my pink for a while, and now I'm in my pink era. I'm slowly getting my pink back, and I hope the dance sector kind of support me and recognise that and let me back in. Because I've got my old identity back again, but I've also got it with this new identity as a mother. And I never really left the dance industry. I just lost my pink for a while.